Hey guys, welcome back to Chris Dunn TV. In this quick episode, we're going to be talking about why you should never, and I mean never, use news headlines to make trading or investment decisions, and we're going to use some recent action in Bitcoin as a case study. Since the beginning of financial markets, investors, traders, speculators, pension fund, hedge fund managers, everybody, market participants have been using financial news outlets to help them understand what's happening in the world. And also, a lot of people make the common mistake of trying to use news headlines as a way to figure out what is a good investment or when they should time their trades. And in this case study, I'm going to show you why that's the exact opposite of what you should do. Now, it's no secret that so far in 2017, Bitcoin has been the hottest market on the planet. And from the beginning of the year, we went from about $1,000 and recently reached a high of $3,000. And so all of a sudden, everybody has an opinion about Bitcoin. You'll see some talking heads on TV that have been calling Bitcoin a bubble since 2013. You have other people that are calling for Bitcoin's price to go to $500,000 to $1 million a coin, and everything in between. It's really just been interesting and kind of funny for me to watch this year because I've been in this space for about 5 years and I pay very close attention to what Bitcoin does every single day. And we have a community of thousands of traders that are actively investing and trading this with us. So now that we have everybody that is somehow a cryptocurrency expert, I just want to show you the right way to interpret the news, because there's been a lot of volatility recently, which means there's a lot of emotion in the price of Bitcoin. And one thing that we've seen since Bitcoin's inception is the fact that you can get massive runs up, hundreds of percent gain, 50 to 75% losses. And the reality about the markets is that most people can't stomach that kind of volatility. And so in this video, I just want to kind of help you navigate how to do that. So if we just take a look at 2017 so far, so we've got a little over half of a year's worth of price action to look at. And I just want to show you some news headlines and how if you followed this, it would have actually put you on the wrong side of the market. So starting off actually here on the first week of January, Bitcoin had a really big pullback, and it looks small on this chart, but this was actually a really big deal. And I did this video that was kind of clickbaity just because I wanted a lot of people to see it to understand what was happening. And what happened was Bitcoin pulled back on fears in China. And in this video, I basically explained the 7 steps of a trend and how I thought there was no reason to panic. And since then, Bitcoin's price has literally tripled, okay? But if we go just a few days later, let's say you didn't see this video and you just started watching or reading CNBC or The Street or Bloomberg or any one of these news outlets that just needs to, think about it, journalists need to create articles based on what's happening. They don't have your best interests in heart, but just look at these headlines. Bitcoin lost $3 billion in market value in 40 minutes. Oh my God, I think that was on the Quartz. Bitcoin falls 10% as China plans to investigate exchanges. Oh my God, that sounds scary, right? But if you understand really what's happening, a lot of times that can be a great buying opportunity. Here's another one. This guy is constantly posting negative articles about Bitcoin. Bitcoin could be on the edge of a huge cliff, as it starts to pull back to retest support. And then check this out. When Bitcoin is at its highest, this is where you start to see these types of articles. Bitcoin surges to record above 2,500, blah, 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 over 100% gain this year, right? Right at the top is where they posted this. Bitcoin surges as cryptocurrency tops 2,100. That was a few days earlier, right? So it's like when you should be entertaining the idea of buying when price is low and when people are panicking, that's when everybody else is reading these and going, no, of course I'm not going to buy. Bitcoin's on the edge of a cliff. Oh my God, China is investigating it. And then more recently, I'll use this as an example because there's been a lot of fear recently. And I think the fear has been justified because when you have a market that triples in just a few months, that is not sustainable forever, right? Eventually, we're going to have a top in Bitcoin, and eventually there's going to be a very, very deep pullback, which I've been warning about for several months. But what happened recently is there were fears of a hard fork. As of today, the probability of a fork is going down, so people are buying in anticipation of a run up. But here's what happens when Bitcoin falls off. For those of you that were actually in crypto or paying attention to Bitcoin's price last week, this is what happened. We had 3 or 4 nasty days of red, but really what happened is we pulled back to prior support. It's the same thing that's been happening for the past year. And then you get like self-proclaimed investment gurus like this guy who is a really nice guy. He just doesn't understand anything about cryptocurrency. And he posted this update and called the exact bottom within a few minutes. Haha, Bitcoin's crashing. He's been so what happens is when Bitcoin falls, you get a lot of people that are either salty because they never invested, or they've just been waiting for Bitcoin's price to crumble so they could be like, see, I told you so, the bubble popped, right? Like there's so many people that are just out there waiting, like secretly going, haha, I can't wait for price to fall so I can, say I told you so, right? Wipe out Bitcoin and other digital currencies and price collapse. The Bitcoin bump has turned into a beating. That's where you start to get these really nasty headlines. And then what happens? You get a strong reversal and a bounce back in the other direction. So what do? In the midst of all this uncertainty and big volatility, what's the best play? Well, you really have just a few options. And we talked about some of these in my last video. The first is you just stay out, right? If you can't stomach the risk, if you don't believe in Bitcoin, then don't have anything to do with it. The second thing is you can just buy low, right, on panics, and then hopefully hold for the long term, right? And then the third thing is you can actively trade it and make money off of the big swings. So I'll show you just some of the charts that we posted and some of the trades that we've had over the past week and how you could have actually profited on this volatility. So right around here last week, at the $2,200 support level, we were actually getting set up for a short trade. And I'll show you the chart that we posted here in the trading room. So one thing that I'm always thinking about when it comes to the markets is I'm looking at it like a chess game. What could the market throw at me and what are all the potential outcomes? So when price was here testing the 2,200 level last week, I posted this chart in the room and I gave a scenario for either a breakdown for a short if we snapped 2,200 or a V bottom bounce, right? So this is what we call an inflection area where you're going to get one of two major things that happens. And so what I was looking for is if price action did something like this and broke down, we were going to short it to the next major level, which was 2,000. And then if you notice, the market did exactly that. It broke down, it gave a pullback like we were expecting to turn 2,200 from support into resistance, and then fell actually through our first profit target. And then after the market started to bottom out here in the 1800s, we started to put in a reversal pattern. And Rocky, who's my partner in the trading room, and a lot of our students are actually dip buying this in anticipation of a big bounce. So again, just to kind of recap, guys, what you want to do is start by figuring out how you want to participate in cryptocurrencies. If at all, do you want to be active? Do you want to trade? Do you just want to invest? And if so, hopefully this sheds a little bit of light on why trying to predict the market based on headlines, news headlines, is a terrible, terrible idea. The best advice I could ever give somebody is to think about what the herd is doing, think about what the mass majority of people are doing, and then think about why they're either wrong or when they are going to capitulate, meaning you're going to get a reversal with a big move. And a lot of times that's when you'll have your most profitable opportunities. So I hope this is helpful, guys. If you enjoy the video, share it with somebody. And if you have any questions, leave me a comment. Also, feel free to sign up for our Bitcoin basics course and a masterclass if you haven't been to one yet. So again, have a great one, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.